right. Okay. I want to thank you guys for joining me today, Wednesday, May 23rd, for our Edgnuity staff meeting. This is our last meeting of the year, and so thank you guys for taking the time out of your day to join me. We're going to go ahead and get started. I don't have a lot on the agenda today. If there's anything at the end of this you guys have any questions on, please let me know, or I want to have some time for you guys to talk, and just maybe we'll talk about how your year went, how the students were, any other questions you guys may have maybe with Edgnuity. So we'll kind of cover that information when we get done here. So 2A, just the usual. I always start with this, but just always good to remind you about your daily progress. I know it is the end of a lot of districts around here in the state, but a lot of students are still working in their courses. We have been busy this week with registrations for students for the summer, to complete courses in the summer. So just be, as your summer days go, just kind of be thinking about that and logging in when you can and checking on those students. Just before I forget, Brookings students, if you have any Brookings students, their last day is tomorrow, the 24th, I believe. So if you have any students from Brookings, email me, even if they didn't complete, email me the name and the course that they're in and what they have currently for a grade, because they do want final grades even if they didn't complete. So any Brookings students you have, email me tomorrow. Completions, you guys are doing a great job on that. I appreciate that. You're sending me an email as soon as the student completes, student name, the course name, the grade that they have. So I appreciate that. Thank you. Vouchers, you guys are doing really good on getting your vouchers in on time as well. Every teacher is different how they want to do that. A lot of teachers will send their vouchers in as soon as the student completes, or they will wait till the end of that month. So if you can get them to me the 25th, that gives me enough time to get them submitted to Trina, so before she closes out the bills. E-Community, the video training library in Edgnuity, is always there for you guys for a resource. If you have any questions about how to do anything, this is kind of where you want to go for any information if you have a question about anything. Or you can either email me and I can look it up for you and let you know. But that's just kind of a resource for you guys. Okay, whoops, wrong one. There we go. The performance task in labs. I kind of touched base with this a couple months ago when we had our webcast meeting. I know there's sometimes with a lot of the science courses, there's a lot of labs. And when a student submits a lab, I notice sometimes that before you even grade the lab, it shows 100% down where you can view the grade when you go onto the student's grade book. Make sure you're clicking on, if there's an alert, make sure you're clicking on that and going into that specific assignment or that specific lab and grading it. Because if you don't grade it, then it's going to be 100%. So if a student doesn't deserve 100%, then we need to make sure we adjust that grade. Also, resetting them. If you want a student to redo a lab or a performance task, you need to go in and make sure that you're resetting that. So if I go into a student, because if you don't reset it, then they're not going to be able to redo it and resubmit it to you. So I just want to make sure that you're getting those reset. So if I go into like earth science, for example, you want to come over here and reset, like if he's on the lab assessment and you want him to redo it, if he says something blank or whatever, you want to go over here and click on reset activity. I know there's a few times where a lot of the OLC students will submit blank documents. That's just sometimes what they do. So, you know, if you guys have some sort of policy, maybe you'll give them one more retry and then resubmit. If they submit it again blank, then make sure you're going in there and changing that score to a 0 if you want to give them a 0. So just making sure you're looking at those reports and making sure that they're doing the work, because I know sometimes down here below the score might say 100, but they don't deserve 100. So just make sure you're going into those activities and giving them the grade they deserve. You guys have any questions on those lab reports or performance tasks? Okay. Okay, let's go to 2B. Edgnuity, every year at the end of the year, they always kind of come out with some new updates with the platform. This year, there's not a whole lot, but they are coming up with a new student interface. So when a student logs in, it's going to look different. It's going to look different. I don't believe they've made that transition yet because I haven't gotten any information on it. But when they do, it's going to be a little bit more user-friendly and it's going to look a little nicer. But they also will update the student orientation video, because every time a new student logs in, they have to watch that student orientation video. So they'll update that as well. So they'll be able to know how to navigate the platform. So once I get that information to me that says that the student accounts have been updated, I'll let you guys know, but just wanted to give you an FYI there. As far as the updates with Edgnuity, that's really the only thing that they're coming out with. A lot of the other stuff is just for me. It's not really for you guys. So that's good. There's not a lot of new things going on. 2C, I just wanted to remind you again of our website. Our website, if you go to dialsd.net is where all of our course information is at. So if you have any parents or students that are wondering about courses or Dial Virtual School, you can direct them here, as well as employment. If you have any teachers or friends that are certified to teach in South Dakota, you can direct them to their website, to this employment tab, and then they can scroll down and fill out the application right here. Click on this, and then they can fill out the application and then send it to us, either via email or through the mail, doesn't matter. But that's just where you guys can direct them if you have anybody interested in teaching for us. Okay, just wanted to remind you of that. 2D, I did send this out to you guys, I believe, maybe a couple months ago, but Lindsay Brewer and Lori Keeler, they're Dial Virtual School teachers, and they teach, I think Lori teaches science and Lindsay teaches math. They actually work in Huron as full-time high school teachers, but they have created a book study called Transform Your Classroom, where it's basically professional development where you guys can get certification. You can get credits if you participate in this, and this is more for if you're in the classroom teaching rather than online teaching. But they wanted to make sure you guys got this information in case you guys are interested. I do have a brochure that I will attach to, I'll attach it to the link when I send the recording out. I'll attach it, but this is the information. You can register online. It's self-paced book study, but there's different books and information here as far as what's required, and you can get graduate credit for it. So I'll just attach this in case you guys are interested, and you can reach out to them if you want more information about it. And Sarah Fridley is also continuing to do our professional development book study that she's always done for us, and that is more online based. So just kind of teaching you about online learning and how to teach students online. So if you want more information from Sarah on that, you can reach out to her too. But that's like an ongoing registration. So anytime you want to sign up for it, you can. It's not a certain time you have to register by. But she's continuing to do that for us. 2E contracts. Trina and I yesterday worked on your guys' contracts, and we did get them in the mail yesterday, so you will be receiving those here in the next few days. So if you could get those contracts back to us as soon as possible, that would be great. I think she put a date of June 11th on there to get those back by, because our next board meeting in June, I think, is the 14th. So if we can get those by June 11th, so we can get them approved during the June board meeting, that would be great. You just need to, there's 2 copies in there, you need to sign both copies and send them back to us, and then we'll send you a copy of the signed contract. Okay? And that is all I have on our agenda today. I know it's short, but that's okay. I know everybody is busy this time of year, but I do want to just point out one thing that one teacher did email me about, and this is happening in foreign language courses. There's students that, and it might be happening in some of the English courses too, and maybe some of your other courses, but some students are using outside assistance to complete work. So like in the foreign language courses, they're using like maybe a translation website and submitting their assignments to the teachers without, like, it's like a computer recorded version of what they're supposed to be doing, and then they'll send that to the teacher rather than them speaking or them doing the work. Do you guys have any, have you guys had issues like that with your classes? Mary?
I've had kids use the translators actually quite often with written work, and it's always so obvious because there's vocabulary and grammar that, you know, they haven't even studied, and so it's usually pretty obvious. And in those cases, I reassign it, don't give them credit, and just reassign it and remind them not to use a translator. Actually, this spring I had a bigger problem with one student who would go in and in the recordings, she kind of alternated between saying blah, 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 in a sing-song voice, or saying something totally inappropriate. So,
see, and that's exactly what Miss Laura Halverson, she's the one that was emailing me about this, and that's pretty much what the students were doing in her German and Spanish courses too. So what I put on, when I send information out to the students for their courses, I do have on the bottom as far as, you know, that they need to do their own work, and that no outside, you know, materials are acceptable, and plagiarism and all that stuff. I do have that on there. And I think Laura has it in maybe her welcome message too or something, but I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts on?
Well, and it's right there in every one of those assignments, at least in my French classes. Every one of those assignments says do not copy and paste from another site, and use your own words. And I remind them. I find that usually if I just, you know, don't give them any points and reassign it to them, if it happens too many times, I usually just get a hold of their facilitators, and most of the time that has taken care of things.
Yes. Yeah, I agree with that. If you don't give them the points and then they see that, and then their score, you know, their grade gets lower, you know, maybe that's the motivation for them to actually do the work. But, and, you know, I think there's a lot of students right now that are trying to finish their courses done and the school's out, and so then they're just submitting, you know, junk basically. And so I think she just gets frustrated because she's taking, you know, time out of her day to do this, and, you know, and it's frustrating, I think, because this, you know, the kids are being disrespectful about it. But yeah, and in that case, I think obviously they don't have a facilitator that's watching over them. They're probably just in the room by themselves or something, or yeah. So I don't know. I don't know what the answer is or how we can avoid that situation. But I just kind of trying to get some feedback from you guys on that.
You know, in chemistry, we've been getting assignments that they like copy and paste the directions from the website, and then they don't put in any data, and then they put definitions of the words that were relevant for their conclusion. So they're kind of trying to get out of it as well.
Yes.
And my thought was my rubric really doesn't allow me to give 0 points for any of the categories. But I've been doing it for a couple categories anyway, because if you don't even complete the category, you shouldn't get a point.
Exactly. Yeah, I agree on that.
So that's kind of where we've been coming from for science courses, because I've had a bunch of kids just trying to kind of skate by on the lab reports. My thought too was I wouldn't mind giving them a sample lab report that I create and then maybe post so that students can look at it and get an idea of what we're really looking for.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a good idea.
So if I have one of those created, is there a place that I can post it, or should I just email it to everybody?
You know, I think what we can do, I think I can add that in there. So if we put it like right before the actual lab report,
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a way that I can insert that in there, Erin.
Okay.
And that way it should just pop up, on there on the student side.
Right.
So we can look into that and that we can work on that. So if you want to create something like that, you can just send it to me and we'll try to get it inserted in there. See if that works. We'll go that route first. And then if that doesn't work, then maybe just email it to them.
Okay, I'll try that first. I would like to get one created because I think having a sample may help some of them, because
Right.
I think a few kids just don't know what they're doing and a few kids are being lazy.
Right, exactly. Yep. And that's online learning. You're going to get all kinds of students, different motivation levels for sure, So, okay, we'll try that. Yeah, we'll try that and we'll go from there. See how it works.
And a side note, if you guys haven't done those book studies yet, they are really good.
Okay.
I've done 2 of them so far and they've been great.
Awesome. Good. I know Lindsay and Lori, they do a great job as far as teaching you what you need to know. So.
And the books themselves are really interesting. It's not like you're reading a dry textbook. It's actually worth reading.
Well, awesome. Good. Okay. Any other comments on that whole student bringing outside work or outside materials in during their lessons?
Casey, I've had the same thing happen with a few things in the English courses. I just did exactly what Sarah did. I just reassigned it. Just gave them a small reminder that they needed to do their own work or that they needed to redo this. And I think sometimes that just does the trick, because I think sometimes they don't think people are looking at their stuff.
Right.
And as soon as they, get notification of that, it seemed to solve the problem.
Right, exactly. Yeah,
it kind of feels like they're testing us.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yep. Okay. All right. Okay, well, do you guys have any questions? Let's just start with like Edgnuity itself, how to navigate or find things or anything within Edgnuity itself that you have a question on or want more information about? Or do you guys feel like you're pretty good at it? I mean, kind of know what you're doing and can, okay. See heads nodding yes. So, okay, good. That's good. That makes less work for me, so that's great. Any other questions? I guess that was my big question, was just, about students, cheating and using other materials to submit their work. Is there anything else you guys have any questions on? If there isn't, then I really don't have anything else for you. This is kind of a short meeting, but that's probably a good thing. So obviously, I will be in touch with you guys throughout the summer as far as, because we always kind of have a few students register late in the summer. But then again, we'll get started back up in the fall. with a lot more registrations. So I think our overall total number of registrations we had was around, we had over 1,800 total registrations. And that's one of our highest years we've had. I think we had maybe a couple years ago was a little bit higher than that, but last year we're higher than last year. So we did really well with registrations this year.
That's really great.
Yes, very good, very good. And with Blackboard, which I mentioned to the Blackboard teachers, we do have a lot of new CTE courses coming out as well. So we're really excited about the new courses for those new courses. So I think that will add some more registrations too. But if you guys don't have anything else, that's all I have. So I will put this recording. I will send it out. I'll send out the link to it, as well as the brochure for the Transform Your Classroom book study information. And then if you guys have any questions, just email me and I'll get back to you. Okay? All right. That's all I have, guys. Have a good summer.
Bye.
Thanks, Casey.
Bye.